This is Justin Harvey with We Are Change Orlando, and I am here on campus at the University of Central Florida this morning to talk with a student whose organization just played a very major role in getting the second largest food service company, Aramark, to drastically change their animal welfare policy and the way in which they treat their chickens. Aramark's new policies address several welfare concerns in its supply chain, most notably the selective breeding of chickens, which causes birds to grow grotesquely large in an alarming short amount of time, and it results in crippling injuries, immense suffering, and sometimes even death. Not only that, their biggest competitor, the Compass Group, announced similar commitments to change their policies in which they treat and handle their chicken supply chain. So what Huffington Post is calling possibly the most sweeping set of animal protections ever announced, we are here to talk with Emilia, UCF student, and see exactly how they got this done.
So I work as a campus organizer. It's a position that I got for the fall semester of this year, and around campus I basically do different animal advocacy and activism and spreading awareness about veganism and stuff like that. And this was a corporate campaign that was launched by the Humane League at the end of September. So it happened nationwide, and it was basically a big protest and campaign against Aramark, which is one of the country's largest food service providers. They're a large food service provider for universities and for prisons, and I think also for hospitals, just all around the country. And they're also the food supplier for some of the largest universities like NYU and UCF. We have like humongous populations, over 60,000 students.
Can you describe some of what was going on with Aramark and why you guys targeted them?
So Aramark had literally no welfare policies for their chickens whatsoever. So they were completely unprotected, and like there's a lot of messed up things that were happening in the food supply with the stocking density of the chickens, the conditions that they were kept in, the lack of enrichments that they were provided with, and the slaughter method, and also the fact that they were using a really genetically manipulated bird, which caused like an abnormally quick growth and large growth, which would cause broken bones and really bad abnormalities. So on campus, I mainly focused on collecting signatures from students, asking them to, sign. There was an online petition, and there was also a physical petition that I would carry around basically wherever I'd go, and I'd educate people about it. I'd hand out leaflets which showed pictures of the type of conditions that were on Aramark chicken farms, factory farms, and basically saying there were certain points that the Humane League wanted Aramark to agree to change by a certain timeline. And it was basically saying, like, kick Aramark off campus because this is how badly they treat their animals. And the goal was to pressure Aramark into changing so that they wouldn't lose some of their largest.
Right, because this being such a big school, that's like a big threat to them, 63,000 students.
Threat.
Yeah, that's big. Now, you talked about the students with the photographs. How significant of a role does social media play when you have everyone holding up those pictures and doing that? How big of an impact does that have?
I think it's really jarring to look at, and it's a physical representation that, like, us as a student body are aware, and like it's like the chicken comes to us, like in the food supply, like it goes down and it ends up on our plate, and like that's where it came from. I do believe it was after the public outcry that they were like, okay, it's time to make a change, because we weren't backing down, and we weren't going to back down anytime soon. We still had so many different plans lined up to ruin their reputation on campus and to ruin their reputation just across America.
Right.
So I think it was a good strategy for them to be like, okay, let's like stop this as soon as possible before our reputation gets any worse as a company. And then also one of their competitors, Compass Group, which is also one of the major food providers, they actually, like a couple hours before Aramark, they set out their own welfare policy, which is pretty much identical. And so it was also a strategy, I think, because they didn't want the same thing happening to them.
Right. And you didn't really expect this to happen, did you? I mean, you were, I read that you were about to give a talk about it, and it just kind of like happened, didn't it?
I just got the phone call, and I was like, well,
they caved.
They caved really quickly. I mean, it was after, I had only been working on it for 3 weeks. I think in total, the campaign had been alive for like less than 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It was launched like the September 27th or September 29th, like really.
Yeah, so just over a
recently,
month,
yeah.
you got this done. That's really amazing. Does it give you optimism seeing that this campaign and doing this got them to change? Does it give you hope for future endeavors like this?
Yeah, I'm extremely optimistic now because I think like the Aramark will listen to a consumer outcry.
Right.
And I mean, especially this was really hard hitting. I think it kind of shows that it takes effort. It takes like more strategy and like a little bit of shock value to do a campaign that's really effective. So right now what I'm working on is trying to get more vegan and vegetarian options at UCF because there really aren't very many, and we're such a large campus, we should be providing more of those options. So yourdiningvoice.com has a survey where students, or really anyone, can fill out just feedback for the dining halls, and there's sections where it can ask you about like, do you think we have enough healthy options? Do you think we have enough variety? And then you can just like add a comment and say, hey, I think we should provide more of these options, more vegan food, and that would be awesome. That's a great help because I mean, for like the start, because I've tried to contact our dining halls before, earlier on in the year before the campaign was launched, and they were really unresponsive to me as an individual, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tried to call them, like I went to the office and I requested the contact information of like someone who I could coordinate a meeting with, and then I sent multiple emails and they just like didn't respond to me at all. But I think this kind of shows if all of us work together and we all give that feedback, then you know, they might eventually cave in. I think they will.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close up?
I want to thank Aramark for finally changing their welfare policy. This is huge. This is going to affect the lives of billions and billions of sentient animals, and it really is, it's an amazing change in our world. So it's really great that like these huge corporations are listening to us and making these big changes.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your victory, and thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.